Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's newest video. It's been a minute, but if you've been watching my community board, also known as posts now, you would know why I've kind of like been in and out of YouTube, mainly because I have so many changes going on within my life, within how I'm viewing my life, and the next couple of months my perspective on life itself and just trying to kind of like find my footing. And so that's why I've been like here and there uploading videos. um so today's video is kind of just going to be me like ranting a little bit about how I am experiencing North Node transiting my first house. So if you didn't already know, North Node is transiting my, let me turn this around so the green isn't. Um, If you didn't know, North Node is transiting my first house in Pisces. It's at like 20 something degrees. So it has not reached my ascendant, and it probably won't reach my ascendant until sometime next year. And so what is the first house, right? It's about the self, it's the soul's journey, the soul's path, which I actually just um was told about the soul's path description of the first house recently. So I'm very, very grateful for that because I'm pretty sure I shared it before here, but I see the first house as our perspective of reality and the way in which we move into this reality. So I guess if you kind of like put that together, right? It's just that's how I see it, and then the other person said the soul's path, but we're really saying the same thing when I sit back and like really kind of like analyze it. But anywho, so that's the first house. And North Node talks about direction, right? North Node talks about the soul's direction, and it talks about where the soul is um being guided towards in this lifetime, at least in tropical Western astrology. Okay. And I am talking about this from the tropical Western astrology. You know what? Now I want to switch over and talk about Vedic really quick. I don't think I've ever talked about Vedic with you guys. So I do want to talk about Vedic. And can we just get into this hair really quick? Because, like, you guys, I just gave myself a retwist. I give myself a messy retwist. I don't do the whole, like, like very particular clean parts. Like, no, I go to the loctician for that. But when I want to like just clean it up myself and just kind of like do my own retwists, then I'll do them sometimes. So I just did my own retwist and my hair is just flourishing. Oh my gosh, like these locks, they are just like, let's talk. You know what? This is going to be a whatever I want kind of video. So we're going to get into a couple of things. Okay, so anyway, I got locks in 2021. And the reason why I got locks, so let me like go back a little bit. So I first was like interested in locks like way before I even like got them. And I started my locks off with two strand twists. So I got my locks, or when I was like thinking about it, I would say like I was heavily, heavily thinking about it probably in 2020. But for some reason, like I just would not commit. Like I don't know what it was about it. I was watching a whole bunch of videos. I was constantly on Lock Reddit. Like I was really like piling information about locks, like all the different types and the different ways you can start it and all this stuff. So that was literally, I think, 2020, right? And then it wasn't until 21 that I ended up getting butterfly locks, which if you don't know what they are, look them up. I don't even know how to describe it, but they're faux locks, fake locks, extensions. And so I got butterfly locks because like that was the thing in 2021. Like, let me tell you, it like boomed. I've never seen the like a boom of a hairstyle since like butterfly locks. There was probably maybe like one or two before then that I noticed, but that one was like huge. So anyway, I got them really, really long. I think that's the longest I've ever. No, 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 no. I've definitely gotten my hair longer than that before. So I got those extensions and I had them like pretty much all the way up to my butt. And I was just in love with them. I was like, oh my God, these are just, I've never been that in love with a style before. And I've gotten faux locks before. See, there's a difference, okay, between faux locks and getting butterfly locks and all the different styles. Okay, so yeah, just remember, I've gotten faux locks when I was in high school. I would say they were about maybe the length of my hair now. They obviously were not as thick. Um, but I would say maybe the same length, maybe a little longer. And I remember I got purple ones. They weren't all purple. It was like mixed. Yeah, and I remember my senior year photo, I had my faux locks in them. So, anywho, um, when I got those super, super long butterfly locks and I loved them, well, of course, you got to take them out, right? You can't have them in your hair forever. So I took them out, and that's when I decided it's time to lock up my hair. So probably a month, not even actually, it wasn't even a month after I took those locks out. It was probably a couple days or something like that. I immediately got my hair twisted up. And let me tell you something. I would never recommend anybody to get butterfly locks because the takedown is one, it's super tedious, and two, the way that the hair is done, like the crochet and like all that stuff, like is actually really damaging. And I lost a lot of hair after doing the butterfly locks. And I've heard after the fact of a lot of people experiencing the same thing. So it's definitely not something that I would recommend. But thankfully, right after, I just went straight into two strand twist. So it's not like I was like damaging my hair further or anything like that. It gave my hair that time to really recuperate and So restore itself. So anyway, yeah, that was in 2021. And now here I am almost 4 years later. And can I just say I love my locks. Some of my ends are light, if you notice, like a tad lighter, and that's because when I first cut my hair in 2019, I cut my hair in no, 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 it wasn't 2019. Was it 2019? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I cut my hair into like a buzz cut. It wasn't a buzz cut. It was maybe a little longer than a buzz cut. My best friend cut it for me. Shout out to Kenya. And so when she cut it for me, before then, I had I was having regrowth because I had dyed my hair purple a couple months before, and then when it was, the color was coming out, my hair turned rose gold. And so when my best friend was cutting my hair, some of the rose gold was still like there at the top, you know what I mean? Even though we cut it like super short. And that's why some of the ends of my locks kind of look a little golden. It's not a lot of them, but it's some of them. Because, of course, the ends of your locks are that used to be the top of your head. So, yeah, it's definitely been a journey. And I can definitely say, just kind of like bringing astrology into it, I have had like hair transformations. Usually, I remember I cut my hair the second time when my best friend did it. That was during an Aries new moon, which I have Aries in the first and second house. I wouldn't be surprised if that new moon happened in the first house though. And then when I got locks, oh, I would have to look in my journal to see for sure like when that was. I want to say it was either Gemini season or Cancer season. So I'm not particularly 100% sure. I want to say it seems more like it was Gemini season more than Cancer season for me. Just like kind of feeling into the energies. And let me think. Yeah, so that's kind of been a little bit of a little tiny bit story of my hair journey. If you do want to know more, let me know because it is an extensive journey, I will tell you that much. And when I had another YouTube channel, I had a video of my natural hair journey story, and that was when my hair was super super short. So yeah, there was something else, oh my gosh, that came to me that I wanted to talk with you about, to talk with you guys about when I started talking about hair. And then I was like, ooh, I'm gonna probably talk about that next. Um, Maybe it had to do with like astrology in hair. I did end up recording a video about Leo and hair. I know, obviously I haven't uploaded it. I don't know if I will, but I recorded it a couple months back, and it was just me kind of talking about the connection between the sign of Leo and hair, and specifically about melanated people's hair and like 4C hair, or type 4 hair in general. I think that's pretty much what that video was about. But we'll see if I upload it. We will see. Uh, what else can I say about? Oh yeah, I was talking about the first house. So yeah, the first house, the first house is of the self and of the soul's path. And so there's just been like so much going on in my life lately, and being on social media is kind of like no help. I'm not gonna lie. I just recently reactivated my Instagram after deactivating it for some time, and I go back and forth sometimes between activating it and reactivating it for months at a time. And now, as I've reactivated it, and it's been it's been maybe like a month now, or a little bit more than that since I activated it again. It just reminds me of like how stunted I feel, and how you can hear everybody talk about how, oh, social media is not real, and you're only seeing people's highlights, and you can hear all this stuff, all this, just this, don't worry about it, don't feel like this, don't feel like that. But it's not going to stop you from feeling like that. It doesn't stop me from feeling like I'm not doing enough. It doesn't stop me from feeling like I'm wasting my days away, you know? And I don't even doom scroll, you guys. I'm not even like, I don't have TikTok. Like literally the only social media that I have is Instagram, and I have YouTube. Oh, and I also have Tumblr, okay? And I don't even doom scroll. And yet just constantly seeing what people are up to, and like what's a profile, right? This is the things that I'm learning, right? Because we gonna get into it, okay? Like, what's a profile, right? When you look at a profile, you look at the profile grid of somebody's, right? What are you looking at, right? You're looking at who they want to present themselves to be, right? But like beyond that, like what are you looking at? You're looking at them in a way, right? You're looking at a part of them, right? Because we are so much more than what we produce. We are so much more than what we say. We are so much more than, anyway, let me just, maybe that's a topic for another day. The point that I'm making is that, our profiles are, we profile each other, right? Hello, we profile each other based on our profiles, and we profile ourselves based on our profile, right? And, there is just this, a lot of insecurity comes out to play that I start to recognize when I'm on social media for a long period of time. I would classify myself within maybe one or two one or two ways, but I am so much more than even in the ways that I classify myself, right? I'm a person, and I've always said this, if you want it, find a way to get it. Find a solution. I'm a solution based person. I don't want to sit here and talk all day long about how something's not working with somebody, right? We can get into how we feel, we can get into problems, but all right, now how are we getting into the solutions? Because after some time, something's got to give. You know what I mean? So that's like one aspect of myself. Okay. Oh gosh, another aspect of myself. Sorry. Another aspect of myself is that I can also feel like I don't have the resources to do all of these things that I want to do, right? Like, I don't have all the resources yet. I'm not saying I'm never going to have them. I'm just saying, like, right now, I don't really have all of them, right? And you might be wondering, like, what kind of resources are you talking about, right? Okay, so let me use one thing as an example. I dance. I go to dance class. I have a dance studio that I'm a regular at. I'm a member at, right? And I would classify myself as like beginner intermediate. And I have had such a I have such a long history with dance that this is probably what this video will be about. But for now, let me just get through this kind of main topic. And so in October, I started going to the dance studio again after trying for years to go to dance studios and just not being able to get the moves. So I'm finally at this new dance studio. I am getting the moves, which seems like witchcraft to me because I'm like, how is this like happening? But I do want to give credit where credit's due. Ice skating has definitely helped me in relation to dance, but that's another topic for another day. So anyway, I've been getting the moves. I'm really excited, etc. And yet now I'm at a point where, like, for example, I just took a reggaeton class recently and we did like a really advanced route. Well, I would consider it really advanced. It probably it's relative, right? What's advanced, what's, etc. It was advanced to me, but I loved the routine. Like, I genuinely, like, it's a great freaking routine. And I'm like, I want to do stuff like that. Like, I want to be challenged. Sometimes I feel like right now in the studio that I'm at, I'm not challenged. And if you were to see me dance again, I'm in like beginner intermediate, but I'm the type of person, if y'all didn't already know, I have Mars in the first house. So even if things are hard, I still want to do it. I'm like, let's go, let's do it. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And like that's where I've been lately. I'm like, I don't care if it's advanced. I like, let's challenge me, let's go harder, let's go faster, But I also like the process. Does that make sense? So it doesn't mean that I just want to be thrown into a fast routine. Like, no, I want this build up. And what I mean by build up is the build up of the routine itself. You know what I mean? Like, something that kind of struck me was the routine that I just did in reggaeton. Was, I feel like the we went through it very quickly, at least the second half of the dance, which I felt like was a lot more advanced than the first half of the dance. At the studio that I go to, the classes are 45 minutes long. And yeah, I just sometimes I feel like it's not enough time to learn a dance. And I feel like, damn, if I had enough time, I would have learned that dance. You know what I mean? Now keep in mind that we worked on that dance in two different classes in 2 different weeks. I didn't take a video, unfortunately, of the first time. That's my fault. But I'm saying all that to say that I just felt like when we were going through the second half of the dance, it was just way too fast. Like, I couldn't even retain most of what was happening. Also, I was basically hyperventilating because I was so freaking like just like tired because it was like that like advanced in my opinion. Also, I was a little dehydrated. So, my point being is like, there's not a lot of dance studios where I live for adults. Okay. And when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking up dance videos and stuff like that, guess the main studios that are being featured: Millennium Dance Studio in LA. Well, what is it? Playhouse? Or maybe it's just Play in LA. You know what I mean? Like, the ones that get the most traction. Sorry, I felt like there was a clip still in my here. The ones that get the most traction are usually in LA, at least in the United States, right? And I'm just kind of like, dang, like if I had like some of the studios that I see, and again, it's not just LA, like I'll see some studios in London, I'll see some studio, like I'll see studios where they're doing the dances that resonate with me. Does that make sense? Like they're doing the choreo, the teacher's choreo resonates with me. And I'm like, man, if I had the resources to invest in classes over there, and I was actually able to maybe live over there and really train, I feel like I would be at the level of dancery that I feel like I should be at. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's that I want, that I desire. You know what I mean? And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. There's a lot of people who live in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, and they're just kind of like, if I only I had the resources to get on a plane to LA and go to a go to a Millennium dance class. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that ties into freedom and freedom of movement. You know what I mean? Like literally and figuratively, but also just very much literally, like freedom to be able to say, "Hey, I want to go to a dance class in London today." That dance studio in London has resonated with me. Like my studio doesn't have Afro beats, and I really want to be in an Afro beats class. And it's no tea, no shade to my studio. My studio is amazing. And each studio across the globe is going to have different things for different people, period. Right. And so that's where I'm saying, like, and I'm not trying to focus on just on the problems, you know what I mean? But it's also me being realistic. Like, realistically, how long is it going to take me to get to where I want to be in dance if I'm not going out to LA? And it's not just even about LA. It's about getting to the level, me personally, getting to a particular level, right? Dance wise, where not only am I challenged, like I'm pushed to the edge. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is where that's just kind of like where I am, you know? And I know some people say, there's a lot of people that say it, hey, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. A lot of people say that. And hey, I've said that even when it comes to like spirituality, right? I don't know if you guys have listened to Serenite Party, but I've talked about how like opening your third eye or your crown or literally opening up anything before your root is you what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But also, I think it's okay to recognize how different we are energetically. Does that make sense? And I think that intention matters. Okay. I think that intention is huge. And, on the surface level, it seems like I just want to get ahead of myself because I want to look a certain way, right? I want, because I even told my dance instructor, I'm like, one of my goals is to be in a music video, dance backup for a celebrity who dances very well, right? Because I'm not trying to just be dancing for a celebrity who doesn't dance. I want to dance for a celebrity who dances, right? And so, surface level conversation wise, obviously, you just take it at face value. You know what I mean? Duh. But I know what that means for me. And anybody who knows me and gets to know me more would know what that means. What does being in a music video mean? What does being a background dancer mean? Right? It's not just about the glitz and glamour, right? It's about consistency. It's about determination, right? It's about living an active lifestyle. Okay? It's about dedication. Okay? What else? It's about being driven. Okay? And athleticism, creativity. Okay? It's about community. Um and when I think about the music video and I think about the tour, right? It's not even that. It's just like, oh, that's my idea of the end, right? But it's not even that I'm really like feeling into. It's the journey of like getting there. And so on one end it's like, okay, well, if it's about the journey that the journey to getting there, you got to take it slow, right? But I don't believe that. I don't believe that that is everybody's, you know, trajectory is to take things slow. That is so relative. Slow is relative, okay? Because while you think the turtle is slow, the turtle is like, ma'am, this is as fast as this is fast. So speed, right, is relative. This is when we talk about life. Let's get back into the whole thing with social media and life, right? And this whole kind of like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm behind, right? But it's all relative. And that's the problem with social media though. Let me tell you something. While that's like a good thing, it's a positive thing to know. It's I wouldn't even say positive, it's just like it's wisdom, right? It's knowledge. But also it's like because it's relative, because it's based on your perception of speed and of time, in my opinion, it makes it worse because then if you're the type of person that is kind of fast in general and likes to do things quickly, doesn't mean you want to live life quickly. It just means you're more of the person that kind of gets through things quickly, right? Maybe that didn't make any sense, but I think you understood what I meant. Then seeing somebody make it and they're younger than you, yeah, that's gonna make you feel some type of motherfucking way. You know what I mean? But if you're a person who likes to take it slow, Tauruses, hello, every other earth sign, then of course you don't give a fuck. And there's things in all of our lives, there's things that like we don't care about that happen slowly. And there's things that we care about that happen quickly. And you know what I mean? It's all relative, right? So, perfect example. Okay, let's talk about romantic relationships, right? Because we just kind of a little bit of what I was talking about before maybe was in the realm of career, but now we're gonna kind of like take it on a little spin. So let's say you have the person that's like they feel like they get through relationships a lot quickly, right? They're always in a relationship, they're always in a new relationship, whatever. Um, and then you have the person that feels like it takes a long time for them between relationships, to get into another relationship, right? And then they might be looking at the other person. Hello, I've literally been here, so I know what I'm talking about. They're looking at the other person who it's very easy for them to get into relationships, and they're like, oh my God, it's literally so easy for you. Like, why is it so fast? You know what I mean? But then they look at you and maybe there's something in your life that happens really quickly, like, I don't know, career, right? And they're like, how do you get so many jobs? How do you do that? You know what I mean? So again, there's that sense of like, of knowing and of recognizing that it really is all relative, but we all have our own energies. And so it's so important to recognize your own energy. You know what I mean? I remember being in philosophy class. I remember, and had just thought about this the other day. If you guys didn't know, I majored in philosophy, but I left after 2 years. So I remember as soon as the semester started, my sophomore year, soon as the semester started, I literally completed like 3 months because it was a hybrid class. But all of our homework and what else? All of our homework and something else was online. And then we had to go to class sometimes for lecture. I completed 3 months worth of homework and I think classwork as soon as the class opened up online. 3 months in like a span of like a couple of weeks, maybe like maybe 2, 3 weeks, because that's the kind of person that I am. Like when you give me something and I can run off that. I can run off that. If I'm not distracted, I can run off that. And so that's why with dance, I feel like why do I feel like I'm a little far behind. I'm a little behind. Not from anybody else. No. Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something just came through. My whole perception of time can only come from myself. It's only my projection reflected back to me. So if I'm thinking, and I'm not saying that I'm only the only one unique to this. There's a lot of people that we share energies with. Duh, naturally, right? So I'm like, me as a Mars in the first house, right? I'm being reflected to this energy of feeling like, oh, I should already be at least in a music video, or I'm not going to say at least in music, at least dancing freely at Millennium Dance Company or a dance studio that's highly, like, highly advanced, because that's me telling myself the discipline that I need. That one track that what is it? One track focus, mind track mind. Y'all know what I'm saying. I need to have that again, like reshift my focus and just stay on that path. And as I stay on the path, the the opportunities will arise for me to be able to go to California or any studio that I feel like the choreography is matching where I am energetically right now. That makes sense. So, I guess that's letting me know that the next steps. Sometimes I just wish social media wasn't a thing, you guys. I have been getting really distracted with social media. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I've been getting really distracted with social media, and I think I just need to, what's the word? Delete them. Like I need to delete all of it. Maybe even change my phone to a flip phone. And that doesn't mean that everybody needs to do that. And I'm starting to realize that because just it's kind of sidetracked, but along the same lines. I remember like a couple years ago, I used to tell people that I was going to get a flip phone. And there was a lot of people that were like, why would you do that? Like, they were against it and stuff like that. And I never really understood why, because I would give them my reasonings. Like, I'm distracted with social media. And I just feel like if I had a flip phone, I would be a lot more like focused on my shit. You know what I mean? And they were just kind of like, oh, well, maybe that just means that I'm trying to think of one of the things that an ex-friend said. He said, "Oh, you don't know how to manage your addiction. You might be addicted and you don't know how to manage it and stuff like that." This is an example of somebody you probably don't want in your life, because when you figure out what you need out of your life, they try to convince you like, no, no, like, don't stop drinking, don't stop being on social media, like, just learn how to control your urges. And you're just like, like, I just want to quit. And the reason they don't want to quit is because, anyway, that's another story for another day. The reason why they don't want you to quit, but anyway. Yeah, and I was like, I feel like if I had a flip phone, you guys know where I would be right now in life? In a music video. Seriously. In a music video, backstage. I'm so serious. Like y'all think I'm playing, but I'm so serious. Man, there is this quote that I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen, that says something along the lines of like, everything is a distraction. everything, everybody who doesn't, it's not even about seeing your vision, but it's like who doesn't move out of the way for your vision. That's an op, that's an agent of chaos. And that's a person who don't want to see you win, because what does it really take away from them? If I quit social media, what does it take away from the person who doesn't want me to quit? If I change my phone into a flip phone, what does it take away from that person that doesn't want me to get a flip phone? It doesn't take anything away from them. So why do they not want me to do that? Because they don't want you to be up. Hello? So I'm just like super excited for social media to stop being a thing. Like, I'm being just so serious. I also sometimes feel like my desires, like my desires without social media will shift a lot. I think entertainment. Oof, I could do a whole commentary. While I love entertainment as a moon in the fifth houser and as a, Aquarian stellium, I also feel like entertainment in the realm, and it's not entertainment in and of itself. I think it's just what has been the system that has been put in place in relation to entertainment, the monopoly and the rules and the regulations and the things that are in the forefront. And then when you couple that with lack of resources, it can make people feel, and it has made me feel like, damn, like, am I ever gonna make it in dance? And then you have, again, there's a whole nother side that's like, what is making it? And why do we always want to make it? Why can't it be enough just to go to dance class in the studio? Why can't that be enough? And so I think there's so much that can be said, I think there's so much that can be explored within the psyche, right? When it comes to our desires and our goals and what it means to like take action towards it. Because, yeah, even though right now I'm not in LA and I'm not in those dance studios, I'm still going to dance class. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so, even within that sentiment of what I was talking about earlier when it comes to time and speed, etc., it's like, okay, maybe if, okay, even if it's an internal knowing that, oh, I should be on in a music video right now or whatever, right? It's like, what does and again, I remember I said it, discipline and consistency and things of that nature, right? And that's also part of it, but also like, what does the okay, because now my guys are like, you just need to focus on consistency and dedication, all of those things that you mentioned, that you see with a music video. You need to have that now, and then that's going to be your foundation that you're going to build up into to maybe be in the music videos, right? But what you really desire, right, when we take out what we're really desiring, again, it's community, it's consistency, it's also like just oh, what's the word? It's not fire, it's like, maybe I said it earlier, like freedom, you know? Just plain and simple freedom. Freedom of the body, for the body to move in ways that are just like, because I see some of the way that these dancers move, and I'm just like, I can't wait to move in my own unique way, like just so unhinged, like just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very excited for that. And I know that I am on the journey right now. And while social media and having these platforms help to connect with people and to see different dances, right? Like, which is beautiful. I love being able to like get on YouTube and see these dance companies and what they're doing, and like see what's going on in my studio and things of that nature. But I also feel like for me and my personality type, which call it whatever the fuck you want, I really don't care. For me and my personality type, existing in real life in these spaces is a lot more transformative and actually helps me within my journey than going on Instagram and going on YouTube and going on these different platforms and looking at people dance and looking at their profiles and profiling them and then essentially profiling myself. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much, that's just kind of like, this is just some North Node in the first house, kind of like Chaz. I think I kind of talked about, like, yes, I talked about having North, like, kind of like a little bit of what's going on with the transit, but also I feel like everything that I kind of touched on was very first housey, where I talked about my hair, which sure we can say is the first house, right? I talked about like what's going on with dance right now, and dance has to do with the body. And again, I can make a whole nother video about like my dance journey, which I know I said I was going to talk about, but this video is already super long, so I don't want to like make it like too long. But if you guys want a video about my journey as it relates to dance, like from when I was a child, like I can talk about that. And just the emotional journey that I've had with dance is just very, very like spiritual. It's very emotional. Okay. And I would say like if anybody like made a book about me or had, wanted me to tell them a little bit about myself, or just as it like just kind of like tying it with astrology, and again the ascendant being the soul's path, the soul's journey, like I feel like, having a Pisces ascendant with Mars, and I do have South Node conjunct my Mars, like there, like I don't know what it is about dance, and I do have Danish Dasan. Oh my gosh, I was gonna talk about Vedic astrology too, and I completely okay. I am gonna I do have to talk about Vedic astrology, okay? But in relation to the soul's path, I feel like my soul's path can be um, painted through the lens of dance, the struggle, the heartache, the sadness, the inspiration, the heart. You know what I mean? The just Yeah, I feel like my if my life was a movie, it would be a dance movie that would have, of course, a bunch of different elements, but it would be a dance movie. Okay. So, Vedic astrology. Okay, so I have in Vedic astrology, which is why I want to talk about this. I have Shatabishak ascendant with Shatabishak Mars, K2, as well as Shatabishak Jupiter. Okay. So I don't know what it is. Okay, so Shatabishak, the ruler, the deity that rules over Shatabishak is Varuna, who is the god of um, the water, basically. And there's a lot of different things about Varuna, but one of the main things also about him and is that he is the rulership of night. He is the ruler of the nighttime, just like how um. Ooh, don't call me because I don't remember who is the rulership of the daytime. I think is it Agni? Don't quote me. Okay, so there's another deity, I think it's Agni, who's the rulership of the daytime. And then Varuna is rulership of the nighttime. And Varuna, there's a whole story about Varuna basically, and about how he became rulership of the nighttime. He used to be, I believe, rulership of the daytime, and then and this is literally just coming off the top of my head from what I remember, so please like do not come for me, but please correct me if I'm wrong. I'll probably write it in the description anyway, but like the correct one if I'm not right. But there's this whole story of how he became rulership of the night, because he wasn't rulership of the night at first. He was not even rulership of the day. He was rulership of a lot, like not the cosmos, but just something beyond, like beyond energy. And then like something happened. He was basically tricked. I believe he was either tricked or made a bet or something like that. And then now he is the god of the nighttime. He also rules over thunderstorms and like just any kind of like choppy water kind of energy. So like a thunderstorm would be like choppy water or like, you know what I mean? So anyway, the reason why like, okay, the reason why I brought up Varuna and another thing about Vedic astrology, which I find very, very fascinating, right? Talking about the ascendant being the soul's journey and the soul's path, is that the rulership of your lagna, right, of your ascendant. If you look at the mythology surrounding them, a lot of people say that it can give you a lot of wisdom as it relates to your soul's path, right? You can kind of learn, right, the mythology of these deities and learn them, for your own soul's path. So as it relates to, of course, Shatabishak Ascendant, we look to Varuna. Um, to also, they say you can gain insight on your soul's path, kind of like the main themes, right, etc. So me personally, when it comes to like thunderstorms and stuff like that, like when I was younger, I wasn't like a huge fan of thunderstorms. I'm not gonna lie, like they kind of scared me and stuff like that. But like, I'm not gonna lie, over the years, I found I have become so fond of thunderstorms that to the point where I sleep a lot of times listening to thunderstorm sounds. And actually, when I sleep with thunderstorm sounds, my first of all, my sleep is a lot more peaceful, okay? And my dreams are a lot more lucid. I'm not saying that I become lucid every time I listen to thunderstorm sounds, but what I mean by lucid, because there's a better word than lucid, because lucid is its meaning for a reason. So I would say quasi lucid. Okay, that is that. So my dreams become a lot more quasi lucid when I listen to thunderstorm sounds. Is it because I'm connected to Varuna? I don't know. Maybe I feel like it is, but it helps me so much. Like it just brings this sense of calmness and peace. I definitely have had dreams with not with Varuna in them. But with there's been some times where I've had dreams with this element of like choppy waters and things of that nature that Varuna rules over, which suddenly I literally want to look up right now because I have my iPad here. So I'm like, let me actually look up because I don't want to be wrong. Okay. Like, it's not even about being wrong. It's just like, I wanna do this right. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's right. Okay. Was I wrong? Because what the okay, no, I wasn't wrong. So, it says here's just in like an AI overview, but he is the god of the sky and cosmos. He is the god of water and sea. Okay, and he is the upholder of Rita, cosmic order. Okay, he is chief of the Adityas. Okay, and lord of the ocean. Okay, so it's a little bit of what I said, but like not really. I was mainly talking about like choppy waters more than just like kind of regular waters. But it says here, he is connected with the entire ocean. So, because I swear there's another god that is um who's the who is the deity for Revati? Because I swear that's the deity over water. Not that there can only be one, you know what I mean? But like, okay. Anyway, uh let me try to remember what I was saying before. Oh, I was saying about my dreams. So there have been some dreams that I've had. There's one particular that I feel like was very Varuna coded. I don't really know if I want to share it. Not because like it's anything bad, just and that's another thing too about like first house and just I think with North Node in the first house is like how much do I want to share of the things that I've experienced in my dreams, especially because they just feel so sacred to me. You know what I mean? Like they just I want to keep it all private. And yeah, but anyway, it was a really, really, really cool dream. And like I said, it was very, very much Varuna coded. The little things that I can tell you guys about it was, I believe the night before, don't quote me, I was doing I was probably reciting um the Bij mantra for Varuna or for Shatabishak. Uh, I feel like the night before I was probably reciting that. Um, and that kind of led way to the opening within that dream and its contents and things of that nature. I even think within the dream itself, I was connected to Varuna consciously. It was a lucid dream, I will tell you that much. Ooh, and now that it's coming up, I do remember around when that happened. So I'm gonna go in my dream journal and I'm gonna look and see like what the contents of that dream was. But anyway, again, I hope that you guys had, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's just kind of like a ranty video. I just kind of wanted to come in here and kind of like share something with you guys. There's just been like so much going on, and I don't necessarily know kind of like what I want to talk with you guys about, but I do kind of want to document this North Node transiting my first house. So this is kind of like part one, and we're just gonna kind of see what happens. You know what I mean? Right now, North Node is in, let's look, well, we know it's in Pisces, but let's see what degree it's in. Maybe I'll do like three parts. So right now, North Node is at 26 degrees. Then I'll do another part when it's like kind of in the middle ish, and then I'll do another part after it hits my descendant, probably. I mean my ascendant, probably when it's in like, I don't know, 0 degrees, which is gonna hit my Jupiter. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on another video. Bye.